All right, it's going to work for me. Okay, so today, 12621, we're going to be solving quadratics. Okay, quadratics are basically a fancy word for x squared equations. And we will look at the quadratic formula on the back side, okay? So first of all, if it'll factor, that always makes it easy, okay? So if I take a look at example 1, what I want to do is always set it equal to 0. Because when you set it equal to 0, then it makes it easier to factor. So I'm going to bring over the 8. And we'll have an x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0, right? And then this is an easy one to factor. And then we know multiples of 8, 4 and 2. I'm going to use a negative 4 and a positive 2. So I'll go x and x, because that makes my x squared. We're going to go and use a negative 4 and a positive 2, because they multiply to make the negative 8, and they add up to make the negative 2. Okay, now what we're doing then is these make many equations. This is why. Let me give you the reason why. I want to give you the reason why you have to set it equal to 0. There are two answers, right? If x is 4, the whole thing becomes 0, correct? If x is negative 2, the whole thing becomes 0, because you got 0 times whatever, who cares? That's why making it equal to 0 allows us to get the answer, okay? So then I do these mini equations, and I'm not going to, so I have an x minus 4 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0, or x equals 4, and x equals negative 2. Okay, these are called zeros. We will eventually call them roots. Okay, we'll call them roots when we start to look at answers that have i's in them. Okay, but for right now we'll call them zeros. Okay, they're also called zeros for two reasons. One, they're the values that make the equation equal to 0. And they're also called zeros because if you were to graph them and put them on the graph, there are also the x-intercepts, which are the y values of 0. That's why they're called zeros, okay? So let's look at example 2. Okay, by factoring. Well, it will factor. So let's bring that over. Bring that over. So I'm going to rewrite this as a 2x squared minus 12x minus 7 equals 0, okay? With the 2x squared, at least it's kind of nice, because I know for sure I have to have a 2x and x. I have to, right? Now with the 7, I'm going to put the 7 here. I'll put the 7 here because I know 2 times 7 makes a 14, and then I'm getting closer to a 12. So if I put this 7 here and a 1 here, wait a minute. That's not factoring. 12, 1. What am I doing wrong? Am I missing something? 7 here, 1 there. It won't work. This does not factor. Well, this is very bad. I might have a change problem. Wow. That does not factor. Shoot. All right, make that a 11. I'm going to change that question. How did that happen? Negative. Well, that's a 14, so that's got to be a 13 then, right? Positive 1. Wow, you guys, sorry, my bad. Thought I did my homework too, and I got a problem, doesn't work. Okay, so let me rewrite the question. 2x squared equals a 13x plus a 7. 2x squared minus 13x minus 7 equals 0. Sorry, my bad. I even did my homework. I didn't do it right. 7 and 1. Negative, positive. There we go. Scratch that problem. So x equals a negative 1/2 and x equals 7, right? My bad. I got to go back and fix that problem, don't I? Okay. All right. Sorry, you guys okay? Thumbs up. I messed it up, didn't I? All right. Example 3. Let's hope this one works. Okay. So I need to simplify this first. So I'm going to go 3x squared plus 12x minus 2x minus 8 equals negative 11. I'll have a 3x squared plus 10x, and I'll even bring over the 11. Okay, I'll add the 11, and I'll get a plus 3. This will factor. Good. This one works. So now, once I have it in a trinomial, now I'm going to factor it, okay? 3x, x, 3, and 1, because that makes a 9. It makes a 9x and a 1x, right? 9x, 1x. If I solve my mini equations, I'd have x equals negative 1/3 and x equals negative 3, right? I mean, I don't need to show the mini equations anymore. We're in pre-calc. You guys agree? You should be able to solve that in your head. Okay. All right, not bad. Okay, let's turn the page. Last problem. So if it doesn't factor, what do? Well, we're going to do the quadratic equation. So I'm going to bring the 4x over. I'm going to rewrite this as a 2x squared minus 4x plus 7 equals 0, okay? So the quadratic equation, let's see, here it is. This will solve for x. We will have negative b plus or minus big square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, okay? So we know that a is 2, b is negative 4, and c is 7, okay? And we've done the quadratic form before. This is just a bit of a review. There's always two answers because of the x squared, and that's where the plus or minus comes in, right? There's always two answers, and that's where the plus or minus comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and use my formula. So I'm going to go minus b, or a negative 4, because b is a negative 4. So I get a negative 4 plus or minus square root b squared, which is a negative 4 squared, minus 4, and 4 is in the formula, times a, which is 2, times c, which is 7, okay? All over 2 times a, which is 2 times 2. Okay, how am I doing? Good? So everything's in there. Now we just have to do is just simplify, okay? So I'm going to have a positive 4 plus or minus big square root 16 minus 56, right? All over 4. Okay, so what I see right off the bat, I see this, and you guys will see this eventually, but we're going to get a negative square root, right? We will. So I know for sure that we're going to have some complex number. We're going to have an I answer. We're going to have an I answer for sure. But let's go ahead and work it out, okay? So we've got a 4 plus or minus the square root of a negative 40 over 4, okay? I'm going to have a 4 plus or minus square root of 4, square root of 10, square root of negative 1, all over 4. Now I did that on purpose because I want to break down the negative 40. I'm trying to do this. Trying to break down and reduce the negative 40. So I can get my I here, and I'll get a 2 here, right? So let's see. I'm running out of room. I just keep working down. So I'm going to have a 4 plus or minus 2 square root of 10 I over 4. Now the book sometimes puts the I here. I like it at the end. It's just annoying here, but I like it at the end, okay? So now, it has to be in the form of A plus BI. So you have to really put them separately. You have to have a real number and a measurement. Now I wouldn't mark this wrong on a test, but if you want to do this correctly, you've got to rewrite as 4 over 4 plus or minus 2 over 4 square roots of 10I. And then I'm just going to finish it up as a 1 and a 1/2, okay? So finally, 1 plus or minus 1/2 square roots of 10I. And there are two answers there. How's that? Not too bad today? Okay, pretty short lesson because I think what I'm teaching you guys already know.